DJC Game Studios. Welcome to the first ever episode of Infinity, your ultimate retro gaming show. And I got to welcome my very first guest. I couldn't think of anyone else to open a show with.
Well, thank you, sir.
The subject at hand, and just because I wanted to see and drink some beers with them. I don't know. I got a beer in my hand. The Atari Creep, welcome. Thank you for coming, sir.
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much, man. What an honor. First show.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been on YouTube. Is this how it still smells the same?
Yeah, it's gotten a little funkier since you left, but
yeah, it got really funky.
I cleaned it up real quick before you showed up.
Oh my God, we got so many people. Let me just go through here in chat.
Rodolfo,
It's so good to see you, sir. Very, very good. Mark says, "Hey, I'm number 2. There's nothing wrong with being a number 2." Flyleaf, greetings, everyone. What is going on, Flyleaf? Good to see you. Dan Ruff in the house. Mark says, episode 1, looking forward to it. Retro Dude Carl Young, glad the show is back. It is. We're back. A new name, but we're here. Sean Starlight, hello. I'm here because you're going to talk about Atari acquiring Intellivision. More about it when I'm eating my dinner. I love to eat something that interests me while I love to watch. Okay, that is very cool. Very cool. We'll definitely be talking about that. 68 Camaro, my friend. Good to see you.
Yeah.
God, it's been like some of the names if a lot of you guys don't know, and if you want to see me be streaming live, all my live streaming has switched over to Rumble. I'm trying to grow a big community over there. It's just nothing but streaming. There's no videos or anything. It's all just live streaming. I try to do a lunchtime stream at least for 2 hours, 5 days a week. Trying to get into that Rumble program over there, as well as they've been featuring me, and it's been just a blast over there, and it's been really fun. They've been really nice. So please follow me over on Rumble if you want to see daily live streams. But we're going to have some more stuff coming for the people that are hardcore YouTube. I am back, baby. Mark says, where's Emma? We need a lady also.
I can go get a wig if you'd like.
I might have a couple. I got a couple mustaches, some beards, some wigs, some costumes. Mark says right on time. Exactly. Hey, you know how I am, man. It's always
I was saying too.
5 to 10 minutes late, easily. To infinity and beyond. Is there new Infinity music? Well, yeah, obviously that was before it started there. Kind of surprised to be on YouTube. Kurt Bradshaw in the house. Dude, what is going on? And Mr. Intelab himself, Michael Hayes. Great dude. Intellivision homebrew programmer. People saying hi to the Creeper 68 says. Brian F, Infinity and Beyond. Dan Ruff saying hello to the Atari Creep. Woo! There we go. We got the creep train going. That is very cool. Long time no see. Huge Creep fan, says Chuck. Well, I don't know. There was a little bit of news. I don't know if anyone heard.
When?
All right. That's a dry joke, but I figured I'd throw it out there. Yeah, we've all heard. It's been about a week now. Atari. Oh, actually, I have banners. I came prepared. Atari acquires Intellivision.
Look at that. Fancy.
Who'd have thunk it? Who'd have known it?
I know, right? I forgot I was even on here for a second. I'm watching you. I might have reacted a little bit strong on that one, I think, but
why is Chaffer Scratch? Oh, that's how I've always had it for the Amico shows. So I mean, I might take that off now because since we have a new rebirth, that was when we were just getting a million trolls and stuff, which I'm sure we'll get in here. That's fine. By the way, drinking a good Sam Adams, a Boston staple right there. Yeah,
got a lager thick enough to cut with a knife. Not quite a Guinness though.
Chuck says this is a good move for both Atari and Intellivision fans. I'm going to go right ahead with what I think. And I've been on a couple little here and there on a couple podcasts, but yeah, I agree. I think if you're a classic, first of all, if you're a classic Atari fan, I'll ask you afterwards, but I think Atari's been doing everything pretty right. There's always going to be stuff you go, oh, I wish they would have done this or didn't do that. But to be honest, they are catering to the classic. They've been doing nothing but recharge games, new games. They bought Atari Age, so they obviously am interested in what's going on. All these retro fans, they realize there's value for the retro.
Yeah, absolutely.
The 2600 plus. So once again, my opinion, it's startling news to hear that, it's like everybody would say, it's like if Chrysler bought GM or Microsoft bought Sony. Now it's not, but hopefully I'm not too loud, guys. Let me know if my audio is okay, because I usually only stream singular. If I'm screaming in the mic, let me know. I'll turn it down. Please let me know about that before I do a whole show. But I really think this is a smart move, because you got to look at it from you got to stand back and take it away from 100%. I was ready for a new Intellivision. Me and Creep both got one of these, and we wanted this to be the next Intellivision. Yeah.
Yep.
And we love and it was about this controller, and we'll get into a little bit of that too. Is why, But I always thought that we would eventually see. I'm trying to find. Good enough. I would eventually see a digital classic overlay, and I could play baseball, or I could play hockey, or I could play, a Utopia, or whatever with someone either online or couch co-op or local multiplayer, something. And audio's fine. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Oh, I forgot I had the over drama thing. That's on. It won't show up here in StreamYard, but it'll be on the thing. That's cool. It's on the regular chat. Blood and Teeth, what is going on, dude?
Oh,
I haven't seen you in a bit. Thanks for showing up, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I only got one of those. Sorry.
But I don't know. I at first you just kind of go, oh no. Like, is this, what's going to happen? Are they going to just take this IP and is it going to be just their second fiddle, or and the more I looked into it, I was like, okay, first of all, going back to that, they got Atari Age. They bought Atari Age. And you're like, okay, they understand. If they bought if they literally paid money for the Atari Age website, they obviously have been following this for a while. They are the people that are running this, at least in the States here, are definitely Atari fans and homebrew fans and the community fans. And they understand the heart and soul that goes into making either these homebrew games for Atari, the homebrew games for ColecoVision, television, 7800, 2600, whatever. And I think then they got a Digital Eclipse, which is an amazing publisher.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, Atari bought Digital Eclipse, which was the people that put out the Atari 50th.
Right.
Which was one of the greatest, in my opinion, one of the greatest Atari collections. And I got it over there, but that I think I've ever put in my Nintendo Switch, or whatever next gen console. So then I'm like, man, these guys are serious. And Digital Eclipse are the guys that were working on Cloudy Mountain and Night Stalker for Amico. So now you got that camp going, and I'm like, oh man, now. So then I'm just like, okay, this sounds better. And it was all about the classic fan and what were going to happen to these classic IPs. And I love the Amico project. I'm obviously still part of that thing, but I think taking the Intellivision name off is not going to change anything on Amico, but it's going to bring that classic section and those classic stuff that we all want our hands on. And
right.
And I think the classic fan's going to be happy because that IP is going to be used constantly. I mean, they're already talking about throwing stuff on VCS or throwing stuff, coming up with new games and coming up with collections. And they're threw a couple T-shirts on their website to celebrate. I know it's just the classic logo, but they're ready. They want collectibles.
It's symbolic more than anything, the T-shirt, honestly.
But yeah, let me turn it over to you. Like when you first heard, like what were your thoughts, and now what are your thoughts now a week later?
Honestly, if you watch my video, the first half is a goof. Once I knocked the camera over,
yeah, I saw that.
From there on, I'm being honest with the whole thing. When I first heard it, my heart did sink. It really did.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to be getting a message from certain individuals saying that we're done. Have a nice day. And that was my initial thought. And that's why I was kind of upset at first.
Oh, right.
Once I sat on it, I'm like, this makes a lot of sense. I never even looked at it as the war. Everyone kept talking about, the war is finally over. Atari won. And it's so weird. I haven't even looked at it as a war since way back in the day. I could barely see that. I'm sorry, bud. We need a new television mini console. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, we'll be talking about that. I have so many ideas for that. Lots of speculation and ideas, but yeah.
Yeah. But I was just like everybody else, more shocked than anything. I wish I'd had a little bit of a heads up on it so I can anticipate what was coming to me. Because you know as well as I do, having something like this around, people seem to think, at least in my case, I'm in the know, and I'm really not. I learned about all this stuff organically, so it was a shock, but it's absolutely the right idea. It's the right thing for the brand to, I suppose, move on. I mean, you get one company that's not necessarily legacy, but they're carrying on that legacy. And I used to scarf at them all the time. I mean, I used to pick on them. I was brutal. But they took a little while to get out the gate, and they found their horse, and now their horse is running. I think they're doing well, and I think they'll do right by the brand. So I'm excited to see what comes. Yeah. I'm open-minded.
Yeah, I think I am too, and I really, I really believe that they're not gonna, they didn't divulge what was spent, but I'm sure it was a pretty penny because that's literally the name and trademark, and the games, so. I really believe that they've already worked out a big plan ahead of time. I mean, before a purchase, you got to think. I'm guaranteeing it's probably. I mean, I'm not guaranteeing. I'm just speculating, but I'm guessing before they even approached and said, "Hey, we want to buy this." I'm sure it was more of a, "Hey, let's all sit down. What if we were to take Intellivision on? What can we do with it to bring it up, to be of value?" To be right by the fans, because I think Atari seems to be doing really well by their fans. Mm-hmm. And then we'll get into the plus and all that stuff in a second. Right. But I really think they've done a lot of fan service, whether it be releasing like the Berserk Enhanced cartridge brand. I mean, when's the last time you could buy an Atari cart? And my stuff's over there. It's not behind me. So I'm so used to just going, oh, there it is. Yeah. But yeah, so I bought Mr. Run and Jump complete in box. I still kept it sealed. I'm thinking about getting an extra copy so I can pull it out and check out the cartridge and play it. But then they had and then you have the boxed paddle controllers with the multi-cart, and just the box itself to me is a beautiful collectible, right? Mm-hmm. So if you do anything like that for the Intellivision fans, I think this is. I'm going to say it, a match made in heaven for the collectible fan, for the old school fan. Mm-hmm. And I am definitely one of those. Hasselhoff in the house.
Hey, Hasselhoff. What's going on, buddy?
Say hello to Kit for me. And oh my God, am I glad you're here, dude. It's been a bit. Damn, I'm late. When I read that, I read that in like Doc Brown's voice. Damn, I'm late.
Good Scott. No, it's great Scott. Great
Scott. Sean Starlight says, I saw an announcement that Atari bought Digital Eclipse, Night Dive Studios, Accolade, M Network, and now Inquire Intellivision. That is all true, sir.
Yeah, it's like a snowball running down the hill.
this is, yeah, I wonder what other companies are planning to acquire next. You know, and that's only going to grow them as a company. And you know, if they're going to take on, like, hey, dude, buy Coleco, man. Have all three. Like, weren't you saying, like, let's have a console that does all three?
Yeah, why not?
A physical Retron.
You know, and technically it could be 4 because you get the 7800. They'll fit in a 2600 slot. And the Plus already does that, so they already got that worked out. You know,
they do need one for a 5200, but then I guess we can get into all the 8-bit computer and all that stuff.
Right.
But the 52, the 52, the 78, and the 2600. I think those three are still pretty important if you're going to do a multi. Wow, they could do 2. I mean, hey, you take advantage of the collector. We'll buy them.
No kidding. We're dumb enough.
Take my money. You see what I do. I spend it on everything.
Right on, man.
Hasselhoff says 38 watching, 7 in chat. Certainly no lurkers tonight watching for their snipes.
I know, right?
Yeah, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, Chuck says he loves his Atari homebrews. Yeah, there's and I like that they even said in that was one thing, and I'll try to pull that up in a second. The press release was like literally talking about that. And hey, speaking of Intellivision or Amico Gaming, John Alvarado, what is happening, sir? It was very good to see you, sir. And it is the real John because I made sure I wrenched him, so I knew if he comes in,
that's really good. Times.
But yes. So yeah. Oh my goodness, I am trying to catch up with the chat, guys. I'm sorry.
That's okay. They're
just going. A lot of people in here right now. But I do. I'm happy. I got it. When you sit back and the initial shock wears off, I gotta be happy. Yeah. Night Dive. Imagine playing System Shock on the VCS. Dan Ruff says the Atari Vision coming soon. Chuck says young generations are realizing that classic systems are more than people think. Well, it's the dawn of gaming. We wouldn't even have a home consoles if it wasn't. And I know we had the Fairchild F and the Odyssey and all that stuff, but what really kicked it off with a giant library were these two systems, the Atari, which I grew up on too. You know, everybody's like, "Oh, he's the Intellivision guy," but what was that before Intellivision? It was Atari, and I was at my cousin's constantly playing Atari. And it just happened when the Intellivision come out. My dad was like, "Okay, we're getting this one." You know, it was kind of like a jab at my cousins. Right? We'll get the one that's got the better graphics. You know, and that's what started that first friendly back in the day. I don't think there was anyone that really was mean about it back in the day.
No, I don't think it got down to fisticuffs until the 16-bit war there.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you got into like the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, people are like, yeah, it's either one or the other. John says it's a good thing for Amico. That's all I could say. My lips are sealed now. And I figured that, sir. I think we all figure that. It's going to help both sides with this. Because this is also a really good partnership. Because once again, and we will get to the press release. Let me find it, pull it up. They do mention Atari and Intellivision collaboration kind of thing going there too. So you got that opened up a whole door for both sides. I'm sure whatever the deal was, you know.
My biggest question in the whole thing is, and I know John probably can't answer this, but I just want to pose it. Who approached who first? I'm curious.
I think that would be curious to find out. What's going on, Taz? Woo! Yeah, we're starting. They're trickling in now. We got about 50 in here. Yes.
Oh wow! Yeah, huh?
Yeah, Coleco. Yeah, Coleco would be one, dude. I don't think that would. Is that even a big IP to buy? I bet it would be pretty cheap for them to acquire that.
The trouble with Coleco is most of their games were licensed.
Yeah, that's
So in order to own Coleco, you really only have the right to the hardware, I believe. And certain stuff. I don't think a lot of the games were first party, if any of them. I know Donkey Kong and stuff like that were, but well, they had a handful. Like Mousetrap was as well, I think. And
yeah, Mousetrap was a license. So did you have a Coleco growing up?
I didn't, but my buddy did.
My
best friend. Yeah, I had the Atari and I had the NES. He had the Coleco and Atom System, 2 Ataris. And a Master System.
Okay.
Adam and Master System. Sorry, I confused the two of them.
Oh, the Adam.
Yeah, this kid had everything. His parents had the, you know. So I did grow up with the ColecoVision. I just didn't have it in my home.
Yeah, so I'm not familiar with like their original like first party games. So I know they had like people are like, oh yeah, it's best to play Donkey Kong and Zaxxon and Mr. Do, and it's like and Mousetrap, like we're all saying, they're all licensed games.
Yeah.
John says I can't say who approached whom, but I think there was chocolate that got mixed up with some peanut butter.
Okay.
So it's kind of a Reese's kind of thing. You know, they went, oh, these two taste great together.
It sounds like consensual. I like that.
It was a consensual purchase. Canadian Gamer, what's going on, dude? Nice new setup. Looks good. Well, thank you, sir. Yeah, that was just my only thing is I got all these liquor bottles of my Polish blackberry brandy, and I got all my games over here. So now I can't just reach behind me and go, look what, you know, I can't pop a Pete and just, you know, pull every game I'm talking about within reaching distance. So, but thank you, sir. Hit the like button. The more popular DJC is, the most likely he'll get harassed by Kotaku. Hey, bring it on, Kotaku.
Is that stuff that smashes?
That's that weird, the car crash thing with this. They're going through so much shit for what they're doing lately.
Oh
collect chameleon. The Coleco Chameleon was done on Arrival. Yeah, so that has to be available. I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm not a Coleco fan, and I'm not saying it's bad. I just never had one, but I know a lot of people that love their ColecoVision. So for the handful of games and the IP, why not? Sure. I remember many of the television games being licensed games back in the day, but I think the ones they had, I think was their, and this is another thing a lot of people don't realize, that for years those licenses on the sports games haven't been used because because of how what do you want to say? I don't want to say primitive because I love them, but they're primitive graphic games. They just when the license ran out, they just called it baseball, hockey. It wasn't world class baseball, chip shot golf. They just dropped all that stuff. So I think they could do the same with that. They could just make a good, put those classic IPs out. And I think if they put them on a collection where you could play online baseball, online golf, online hockey, online basketball, those sports titles, and the 2-player stuff, like Armor Battle and all that stuff, is still first party games. They just don't. And the Cloudy Mountain, by the way, was changed to, if you remember, I used to have an overlay here. On the here it is. The flashback, they didn't call it Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. They switched the name to Crown of Kings.
Oh, okay.
And now everybody calls it Cloudy Mountain, which is fine too. So, like I said, it's graphically nothing's patented, for Dungeons and Dragons from TSR Hobbies or whatever that owns Dungeons and Dragons. So, once again, this is another first party. It turns into same with Night Stalker. Now you got BBG owning Astro Smash and Shark, but it's all allowed to be used on. That's where it gets in the gray area. I know it could be used on Amico. I don't know about the Atari deal with that though. That I don't know. I really have no clue. Right. But I mean, you got a lot of stuff. You got Buzz Bombers. You got try to look at Utopia. Oh my God! Talk about a remake of Utopia. I'm just looking at overlays here. You got Space Hawk, great one. Space Spartans, the talking one with the computer and the shields, and you had to repair stuff, and Space Battle. And I think if you're an Intellivision fan, you're gonna want to see that stuff. Let me catch up here. The tab. Stacy Cranmer, what is going on?
Hey, Stacy, what's going on, my man?
Yeah, good to see you.
It's a good buddy of mine right there.
Oh, very cool, very cool. I like how you guys are in televisions. I see what you did there, John. We are in televisions. I think we're going to need a chocolate and peanut butter emoji. I will have to work on that. At least here I know how to do that. I was trying to do that in Rumble with the GIFs and the emojis, and I couldn't figure it out.
Who's the peanut butter, though?
I'm still learning. Baseball was one of the games I was really looking forward to on Amico, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if John can at least say that. I think that's one that was still being worked on. You got to remember, they still have the rights to put those games on the Amico. It's just the Amico console is not going to be, to me,
yeah.
that also, when we're talking about Amico, I think that opens the door for Amico to be able to do whatever games they want.
Mm-hmm.
They're not stuck to the Intellivision brand anymore. So on that side, but that's another stream for probably another time. But
yeah,
Mega Dan, dude, what is going on? Yeah, I said I came back into YouTube and it smells the same, but like Creep said, it's just a little more stale, a little stinkier, but pretty much has the same odor here. What's going on, dude? Yeah, very good to see you. Thanks for coming in, man. Didn't see you come in there. Remember that guy? Hope he's doing well. I'm sorry. But anyways, going back to this, yeah, I think this is a good one. I think this is this is a Mega Dan's awesome. If you guys haven't subscribed to Mega Dan, the dude is incredible. I play a game and I'm dying. I'm sucking. I can't double jump. People can make fun of me. I just have fun. I have fun. I never said I was great at game. I just have a great time. Some games I am. Hey, Nintendo Jaws, I'll beat it in 10 minutes. Everything else, not so good. But Mega Dan does these no death runs like Ghosts and Goblins NES. It's incredible.
Yeah, so crazy stuff.
Just
right?
To show the type of skill this guy has, he does these playthroughs. The guy should have tens of thousands of subscribers. But anyways, is this streaming? No, this is Twitch and YouTube. Twitch and YouTube, we are live. If I may bring it to Rumble as well. Right now, I'm kind of just doing Intellivision retro streams on there, and I'm doing just early retro streaming over there daily. Once again, if anyone has not added me on Rumble or followed me on Rumble, it's just a nice community over there. It's usually families, and people that are just a little more respectful. So I moved over there, and I'm having a great time. But I do miss you over here on YouTube, so that's why this show is going to be a new show over here on YouTube, as well as I'm going to have a homebrew show talking homebrews in the community, which we're actually going to talk about today. But anyways, yeah, enough about that. But if you do go to Rumble, it's all just live streams. When it comes to gaming, it's live streams. So please follow me over there. DJC Game Studios as well. And Indie Lab says it's okay. Twitch. He's over
there. Look at that.
Double streaming, double-fisted stream. Indie Lab. Mega Dan, you rascal.
You dirty dog, you.
With
that's rockstar stuff, man. Good play.
Yeah, that dude, you're awesome, Mega Dan, and you always do that. You always sneak one in on me. God bless you, sir. God bless you, sir. Hey, look at that. Kurt and Birdie over there. We done another double Twitch and YouTube streaming right here. Birdie58 says I'm over here also. And we have a Twitch back and forth over there. Wow. I gotta get bigger. I gotta get bigger on Twitch. That's the one all the kids love. NT Lab has a coffee stream over in early mornings where he plays in Intellivision. He was playing a Magic Fathom. He did like a playthrough on that. And you ever play that when you're like the seagull, then you're the dolphin, and then you gotta like rescue the mermaid, and it's the strangest game I've ever not played well at all.
Fathom. It's a Magic title, you said?
I probably have it over there.
Are we talking Intellivision?
It's the Intellivision a Magic game. I don't know if they did it on Atari as well.
Wouldn't have. Yeah,
they might have done it because I know Magic was on Atari and Intellivision, so I'm not sure which ones.
The brand was. I just don't recall Fathom being there. But if I'm wrong, someone of course correct me.
My How to Play Fathom video is on my YouTube channel as well as his Rumble channel. Okay, there you go.
I'll look that up now, as a matter of fact.
I gotta get bigger on Twitch. You like that comment? Yeah, I'm sure that'll be clipped. I gotta get bigger on Twitch. Gen Xer thinks he needs to get bigger on Twitch.
Oh,
I do.
Apparently it is, but it's called Fathom 2.
I know.
I'm looking at Phantom. My bad. Never mind.
Oh, Phantom sounds pretty fun.
Yeah.
NES Jaws, blah. I have a It's a frustrating game, NES Jaws, but it is one of my favorite NES games because I owned it. And it's like once you beat a frustrating game like that, you just go, it's just like you have a sense of accomplishment, but there's really none. I feel good when I beat it.
It always reminded me of Sequest with brakes.
You're right. You're right, because it was all you did was dive and shoot fish and mansas and collect conch shells, which were currency. Like what? Who? I still don't understand who came up with that whole concept of going from port to port, collecting conch shells, and then bombing jellyfish from a plane. And they're like, this is still Jaws, right? Like, yeah, this all happened in the movie. Really? I don't remember any of that.
It was a TV edit.
Yeah, Jaws is, I can do a no death on Jaws for sure. That's about the only game I could do a no death run. Maybe Super Mario, but I'd have to go back and practice again because it's been forever. Oh, yeah, Turk with like the NES Advantage with the turbo. Especially when you have to fight Jaws. I figure any power level, if you guys have played it, I'm probably talking gibberish if you've never played it, but any power level after 4 in a turbo controller, you're set to go. Even I just button match it, but it gets Jaws powered down pretty good.
Cool.
The final scene is where you had to ram Jaws. That's the one that's still, to me, it's so hard to, because you have to hit the strobe and he jumps out of the water and when you see the white of his belly, but then I've also stabbed him on the side too. So I don't know if it's kind of random on how that sets up, but it's hard.
I always thought it was random, honestly, because it does seem like it's like a different place.
I have probably watched Jaws 4. Was Jaws 4 the
Michael
Revenge?
Caine.
I've seen that. I've seen Jaws 4 like once.
Oh.
Is that the one where they were in the tunnel and it starts cracking and imploding?
No,
and all the water?
that's Jaws 3D. Michael Caine was in
was
Jaws the Revenge.
Oh God, Jaws! I don't know if I've ever seen it. I might have.
The fourth one, yeah.
Combined with Jaws the Revenge. Jet Screamer, what is going on, sir?
Jet's again, nice. What's going on, buddy?
I just got done working out again. Multiplayer Beat Saber is a good workout. Multiplayer Beat Saber is a good workout. Very nice, sir. Kidding, but the game was based on Jaws 4. I have to I need to rewatch Jaws 4 now.
It would make sense. That's right around the same time period.
Hence the submarine and the plane and the ending scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need to watch it, dude. I was a youngin' kid, a kid of young. But speaking of a kid of young, here's a kid of our age, and it's this guy here.
Oh what my God! Happening? He's still alive?
Rab, can you hear us? Hello, sir.
Hear me, see me.
I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Great, dude. How are you? It's been too long.
Yeah. My amici. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, no, I believe it's Amico.
That's just you.
Yeah.
You and the crew. You are amici me. Good to see you guys.
Dude, how you been?
I've been busy. I've had my hands full.
Yeah.
Sorry about the audio.
Well, bro.
No, it's okay. So what? Oh, I got to reset my. Hold on. Well, I had one set here for 3. Was it this one? Nope, not that one. How about we do this?
I saw it. Boom. I know it's there.
Boom. We'll just do that. All right.
I love government work.
I'm just hopping on the chat. Hey everybody.
But so what I've got to hear your thoughts on this because I think we all woke up to a big
my thoughts. So I woke up and I'm so used to the Amico Forever, and now the show is Amico Infinity, and I got to tell you, Chuck, you keep outdoing yourself, but the way you're going, you're going to paint yourself in a corner. I mean, I'm here for you. If you're going to, if this time next year you will launch a show and it's like Amico for realsies, I'm there. But I'm just letting you know, you're going pretty hard.
Amico for realsies. Yes. That actually should be the next one. How do you beat Infinity though?
I don't think you do.
John Alvarado says, can you put Rab on an Amico color touchscreen? I was going to do that. You're not televisions anymore. I know. Hold on. Everybody's like, the graphics all weird now. I had a third. Hold on. I got it here. I just got to, this is what we're going to fix.
This is old. This is super old school. We do not do graphics on this show. We are in like teletype.
R-base.
There we go, guys. Now we're all back in TVs. I hope everybody is happy in their own tube TV. Inti Lab says Amico for Ring Kings. What are you expecting me to play the old Ring King thing and we all laugh and because they're doing something weird?
It's a fan favorite. Yes,
I can't do that. And then here's one extra one, just because. All right. Had to do it. Rap is on the radio. That's funny. Yeah. So what do you think going forward? Do you think this was a good idea for the Intellivision classic IPs and name?
Emotionally it hurts. There's no getting around that. I think everybody that is a fan of Intellivision and still supporting the Amico project, it's kind of a disappointment. But I think it's been the right move for a long time coming. Atari has been positioning itself as, kind of the home for retro for the past couple of years since Wade came on board as the CEO and things have really shifted the direction of what Atari sees itself as. I can't think of another entity in video games that would be a better home for the Intellivision brand than Atari with what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
Just the breadth of what they're going for. You guys were talking about things that IPs that they've picked up and companies, libraries that they've purchased. Stern to me was a big one. Just what they had in the arcade back in the early 80s, just a lot of really interesting titles. I'd love to see what they can do with some of those. But I think my thoughts on whether or not this is good for the Amico company, whatever the rebrand of Amico becomes. I think it's still Amico, but it's no longer going to be Intellivision. I think this is a good thing for them. I've always seen them with one foot in the retro community and always kind of catering to a lot of our interests and a lot of the wouldn't that be something to bring this back and do this and do that for us classic fans was a good thing, but it very much deviated from the central focus of trying to expand the audience, trying to do something different in gaming. And I think all of us are not immune to looking around and seeing that video games are not in the best position right now.
Yeah.
There's
I figure in like collectibles, physical, just they're all about that and almost bringing that back. And I think, like you're saying, like things are going to the way.
You mean Atari?
Atari, yeah.
I think Atari gets that. They get the niche. They get the collector. They get the retro fan. It's good for getting the Intellivision out. If you wanted Intellivision to be able to play those old games, if you wanted Intellivision to have remakes or recharged versions of those old Intellivision games, if you wanted Intellivision to have a compilation library of several of those games, I think Atari is best positioned to put several of those out and do the due diligence, especially with Night Dive Studios, especially with Digital Eclipse and what they did with the 50th compilation or 50th celebration.
That was really great.
Go ahead, Creep.
Go ahead. I was going to add that I think that right there with the Digital Eclipse being involved there, because you already got the Night Stalker Cloudy Mountain folks. You got Mike and everyone working there.
And Micah had mentioned before that they were there was five, I think 5 Intellivision titles, and it may have been Intellivision and Atari because they had the license to do like 12 of the Atari titles as well. So there was about 5 that they were working on or that they had on the shelf that they were interested in doing. And, you know, Night Stalker and Cloudy Mountain were the 2 that had the most to showcase, but there were some other ones that they were interested in as well.
There's a couple, yeah, there is. There's a couple Atari titles that are definitely.
Well, now they get first dibs on all of them. I'm sure, you know, Night Dive is going to want to do several of those as well. But it's going to be interesting to watch over the next several years, half decade or so, to see what comes out of this on that end.
Yeah.
But one of the things I was going to say is, you know, the video game industry right now is kind of in a rough space, and I think everybody's kind of coming to terms that this whole AAA model is taking down a lot of studios and taking down some of the biggest players. I think if you're a Microsoft fan right now, you're a little nervous about what Microsoft sees as far as the future of Xbox gaming or Microsoft gaming or whatever. If you're a PlayStation fan, I think you're a little nervous about the direction that Sony's taken and, you know, how long it takes for them to get out some of this stuff. And some of the, you know, interviews they've done with, you know, with Neil Druckmann and Insomniac and all of these concerns that they have with their studios and their ability to get out those big games as well. You know, smaller, there's a place in the future for video games for smaller, for kind of disrupting that market and being able to say, okay, we're not going to do, you know, the next AAA game, but, you know, we can give you 60% of the play experience for a lot cheaper, and we can do that consecutively, and we can do that routinely. And Amico obviously has a long way to go to do something like that, but I think in general, video games and you know, the community of gamers is starting to kind of come to terms with the fact that, you know, bigger, longer storylines, bigger games that take 10 years to come out is an unsuccessful, unsustainable
I get it.
path forward. And you know, with what Amico's trying to do, I think Amico is one of the few companies out there that is trying to do something differently and trying to kind of, you know, take a new approach at that model. And if they can really get their heads down and get this product out and get it in front of some people and show what they're trying to do, I think they can, you know, get that attention back that, you know, they had gotten early on and kind of gotten sidetracked with all of the stuff online and all of the stuff with COVID and all of the stuff that has fallen apart since then, you know, where it's been more spectacle of watching the wheels fall off the cart and everything about the, you know, the community and drama to follow. So I think there's a future ahead. I think there's a lot of work to do, but it's good news.
Yeah, I do. I just want to add to that. I think you're talking about, like, you know, how they these long games and big games. They're like, once again, when a Grand Theft Auto comes out, the next one, I'm buying it because that's going to be awesome. When the next Red Dead comes out, I'm buying it. Those are a couple games I do. But for the majority of my gaming, I like something fun to pick up and play. And I think a lot of people, if you look at a lot of the popular games on Switch or Xbox, or heck, we're going to be talking about VCS soon too. There's a lot of these indie style games or pixel art style games, simple style games that are becoming so popular. I mean, heck, it even started back with the whole Minecraft thing, you know, just it was just simple blocky graphics or simple pixel art graphics, funny looking, you know, but just done right. It just shows that you could, and then we go back into Amico. You don't need realistic graphics. If there's a fun factor there, you could throw a block back and forth, and it's fun.
No, none of those will make the top 100 games. None of those will make the bestsellers. Very few of them will make the million seller mark. So from a fan perspective, they don't all look like successes. But if they're not expensive to make, and if companies can make those games and profit from them and look like a little bit of a safe haven moving forward in the face of all of this turmoil in the AAA space and all of these layoffs, you have talented programmers out there who are being laid off left and right, who have been around for a few years. I mean, a bunch of them were hired with, you know, the pandemic and you know, the upward trajectory that gaming was going to be. So there's obviously some course correction there, but entertainment as a whole, the music industry, TV, streaming, movies, book publishing, you name it, they're all kind of top heavy and struggling. I mean, we've gone from, as a culture, we went from the boob tube to the dumb thumb doomless scroll of our phones. We have entertainment in our hands all the time. So these companies have to figure out how they can get around, expensive products and how to put things in front of people cheaply that's accessible on their phones. And I think Amico is very much in that space. A lot of people were laughing about the fact that, oh yeah, this is something you need 2 phones. You can hook it up to a TV to like cast or something. But a lot of people, a lot of, younger millennials and Gen Zers don't have a TV in their living room. They have tablets, they have phones. That's how they consume their entertainment. So if you have a tablet sitting around and you can cast to that, or you can use your phone and your tablet together and you can game, then so be it. That there's an option there. And I think the further we go, I think the further more people are going to see this as kind of an interesting space to be in. Maybe it's not a success, but it's at least something in the face of
it's fair.
Where we are now.
It's very fair.
I do agree with that. I mean, that is that's why everybody was getting on me for saying, I was like, you don't have like a phone. I mean, if you have a family of kids and you have more, especially if you have more than one kid in the house, they're all going to have at least a few devices laying around to play a game together, whether it be a tablet and everybody seems to have a phone now. I mean, at least at a certain age, you get a phone, it's what it is now. I've always had, and call me, which I have been called very crazy, but I got an old iPhone right here. I have an old Android over here. I got my current Android. Like I already got 3 devices I can use as controllers. It's like, so I don't think that's too far off on what they're trying to do there. But when we're getting into the Amico stuff, I really believe the Amico controller, having this, does it really matter what the console looks like? No, but to have the experience, this is what I cannot wait to see this manufactured to use with your TV apps and your Amazon Fires and the Cubes and the whatever way you can turn whatever into a console. But this is the controller experience. But until then, this Easter, and I've been meaning to set this up so I can kind of show it off. We pulled up Cornhole on the big arcade TV down here, and everybody downloaded the app, and we were playing Cornhole on Easter, and we were laughing and drinking and having a good time, yelling at each other. It's fun.
I was hoping Atari bought Cornhole as well, so that it would have to be rebranded as Beanbag Toss, like it rightfully should have been from the start. But
what, you saying you don't like Cornhole?
Not particularly, no.
Makes me think of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Where's that? No, I guess I don't have it yet.
Retro
says he wants the control too. Well, that's in the works right now for that. There's a lot of games though, because like the trivias, the charades, there's a lot of stuff coming up that's gonna be great for that. But if you get into some platformers, you may want to do the controller is going to work fantastic. But yeah, that's true. Want to see new game clips? Cornholio. They should be a sequel called Cornholio. Good one, Izzy.
Cornhole.io. I think we have a home.
Oh, hell yeah.
Woo! But yeah, so now let's get into I got the next topic here. And this is, and I want to talk about the homebrew scene in general, but since we're on this, the Intellivision homebrew scene, but I also want to talk about the Atari homebrew scene with this acquirement of the trademark and the logos and the games. My personal thing, and I went on to whose stream was I? I feel it's a blur. I'm streaming every freaking 5 minutes. I was on Next Level Gaming last night. Before that,
you were on Intellivision Gamer, I think.
Thank you. I was in Intellivision.
That was
Gamer.
a good stream. That was I
enjoyed. A lot, and you had like William from Electro Night.
Yes.
And as I'm talking about this, I can play. So like, here's like a couple. This is turn this banner off. So like a lot of these homebrews, and this one right here, this is from Electro Night Games, and they've been making homebrews for years now, and they're one of the tops. I mean, you have a lot of these publishers. You got Intellivision Collector, Intellivision Revolution, but this here's Electro Night. William Mueller is Electro Night, and he was on that stream talking about what's going to happen. I believe he's even reached out to Atari.
Yeah, he said he had reached out to Wade Rosen. So and
I'm going to try to see
Rich
if I
is going to try and put him in touch with some of the other with his contacts at Atari. So
right,
William Mueller is like he's I think the first homebrewer. I know we got Inti Labs here, Michael Hayes with us on the chat, but those Electric Night games were like the first homebrew games that I saw from Intellivision, or
I remember like
were for the Intellivision. They just kind of blew me away that it was capable of those.
Yeah, like he had old school. This one here, just the reason I highlighted this one because I think it really shows what can be done when they're talking. And that's another thing I need to read is the press release. But when they're talking about these making new games and contributing to the classic and putting all these collections out, I really believe in my heart. I don't think, and I could, once again, I could be wrong, but I really don't think a company like Atari that purchased a company like Digital Eclipse that purchased the Atari Age website, which is dedicated to homebrew and the salvaging of classic games to keep them alive, and a huge on the homebrew community. Both Atari and Intellivision and ColecoVision and Odyssey and Atari Age was pretty much the retro hub of every early retro system, pre-Nintendo system.
Yeah.
And so I think Atari as a company, or Wade Rosen or whoever that decided this to take on Intellivision as well, said, listen, there's this huge community that's so dedicated that they're making 200 plus games. They're loading. They got 40 plus games coming out yearly for the Intellivision. Why are we not capitalizing on that? So I don't think, and like I said, strike me down like the emperor if I'm wrong, but I don't think they're going to put a halt to this. I don't think they're going to stop. If anything, I hope that they start a partnership with William and an Electro Night and Luke from Intellivision Collector and Rev over Intellivision Revolution and Collector Vision and Opcode Games and all these publishers that have been working so hard for the last almost couple decades or a decade or however long they've been working, some of them more than others. And I'm just showcasing that because Electro Night was just so, they have those ones that really push the limit on the graphics and make it look almost like a Nintendo. And
that looked amazing.
I think this is good, and I really hope that as far as the homebrew scene, that is I taken seriously, and I think that's taken into account with that purchase. That this is our audience. This is the people that are going to buy another Intellivision console, an HDMI console, a something that can load homebrew ROMs. New boxed games and collectible cartridges, like just like when we go back to what we were saying earlier before Rev came in, the Mr. Run and Jump for the Atari 2600, the Berserk Enhanced with Voice, and they released those boxed editions, and I bought them right away because I was like, oh my God, it's the first in time in years you'd ever see a cardboard boxed and sealed brand new Atari game for sale. So, I get excited about that. I get giddy, and I think a lot of these Intellivision and Atari fans are. So that's going back to that. That's what I'm really excited about is these classic IPs are not sitting and they're not being used as just a name. They're going to be coming out and being worked on, and stuff's coming out, and in recharged versions of this are coming out. And
I think
what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think I still, as far as like the first Atari product in years, I think the last thing I saw, this is after the Jaguar had already come and gone, was like 7,800 like surplus games at like Ocean State Job Lot or Odd Lots or something like that. So it's been a while. It hasn't been that long, but it's been a while. So yeah, it's good to see. And I'm just, if the initiative they're taking and what they're saying, if they do 10%, of that to match it. I think us as a community you've got to get behind something like that. You've got to get behind the people that are out there making these home brews and keeping this alive. And Atari wants to be the beacon of that. I don't see any reason why, we can't come together to support that. I think it's the right home for all of this. And I think you had mentioned Coleco as well. And while Coleco didn't have a lot of their own IP that they had released, when they had went under in 85, end of 84 and 85, they did have a number of games that were under development and did not go anywhere. So I don't know if Coleco Holdings still holds any of that. The old there's probably like 8 companies that kind of spun off after Coleco had left, had gotten out of the video game industry. About 8 companies that had started up as software companies in and around Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, who were working on games at Coleco. Coleco was starting its own. They had worked with, they got a lot of developers from like Avalon Hill, the board game makers and war game makers, a lot of game designers to like create some games. And they were in the process of making a number of those games when they went under. So I would be curious, why we're kind of writing off that Coleco was just licensed properties as far as what they released. There's a lot of stuff that's unreleased, and I don't know how much of that survived the bankruptcy and the selling off and ultimate bankruptcy of Coleco, which I think was a few years later in like 89 or 90.
Yeah, that would be a nice one to see them acquire that and try to salvage that section. And then they have the Triforce pretty much,
Right.
You got the Triforce or Retro. What Creep, what do you think about as far as the homebrew, stuff? And you have a homebrew Atari games, right?
I have one homebrew Atari game. It was one of the John Hancock ones. It might even be here. I haven't even played it yet. No, I guess I don't. I packed up a whole bunch of stuff while I'm looking in here. And I only have 1.5 for the Intellivision. Somebody on Atari Age reached out a long time ago and said, hey, let me send you a couple of games to test out. And one of them was Jawbreaker. And unfortunately, that one never worked. Oh. And the other one was, I think it's called Sea Venture. It's Sea Quest, basically.
Yes.
Such an amazing port.
Great game. There was a ROM I played of that.
Yeah, music and it's great. It's like a little jukebox of 80s nostalgia goodness.
Yeah. Indie Lab City got a few of the early Atari homebrews, including S-Cycle, C-Cycle, C-Cycle, like Pop Cycle, but did you see that they're doing a Mortal Kombat?
I think it's supposed to be like Axie side.
Oh, really?
Dude, that could be that. That might be what he's trying to say.
Okay.
But yeah, they're doing original Mortal Kombat, and they got the back. I mean, it's all blocky Atari.
We were all wrong.
They did it. Oh, Scuzzy side, pronounced Scuzzy side. Okay, yeah, I get it. Scuzzy side.
Hey, that's my side of town.
Hey, mine too. I'm right down the street from Scuzzy side. I really like seeing like the new Mortal Kombat. Now I understand stuff like that is licensed, but when you see stuff like Anthropomorphic AF that we just saw, Anthropomorphic Force is the name of it, from Electro Knight, TNT Cowboy from Electro Knight.
Yeah, that was great.
Just it looks like a little Bomberman Zelda RPG.
The show must go on. Yeah, all of
the show must go on. I was just going to say, I had these all kind of queued up, but I ran out of time to try to do editing. But the show must go on when you're a little jester spinning plates. It looks like a game that would have came out on Intellivision in '83 or so, or INTV. I really think some of these games they stick to kind of the classic, and then you got stuff like AF and TNT Cowboy and Star Mercenary that you look and go, oh my God, like these are pushing the limits of the system. Yeah. And I think we're constantly learning what can push the system more and more each time, especially with new technology and making it cheaper to fit more K of RAM. I believe all the games were mostly 4K, some were 6, and then I remember like there was a Lock and Chase 8K, but then they decided to go back down to 4. So
okay.
Just extra animation and extra, stuff like I think Lock and Chase, they had a collapsing loop in which they did do a release on IntellivisionCollector.com of it's the Lock and K 8K that has like the little better turn control and the animation of the death of Lupin where he collapses into his hat. So there's like stuff like that, that when technology makes it easier and cheaper to push the limits and make a highly graphical and parallax scrolling cartridge, it's
I know.
Once again, like that, it just, they don't stop. They're constantly going. And I think Atari, I really do think Atari, that's the reason that they acquired him. I think that it's the classic community and homebrew community that have been keeping it alive. And if they were to, I don't think it would be right if they were like, no, we're turning your backs. Oh, you guys cease and desist, and we're only the ones. But
I was so scared of that. I'm not going to lie. When I first heard they bought Atari, I was like, this is bad news bears all the way around. They're going to control the narrative. You know what I mean?
Right.
But no, you're right. They're embracing it. And if they don't jump on the homebrew thing, they're going to be missing out. There's a big Easter basket to be letting go of, I mean, I don't really get into too many of the homebrews. There are a handful I got my eye on, and once things get a little bit, like the ET one, hopefully there'll be one available by the time I can.
Yes, yeah. And Television Revolution did a short run of those. They had the Raiders and the ET Atari redone on Intellivision, and oh my god! But they have to do them in small batches because that's you can't do a big. But I understand, you're only going to get the hardcore fan that's going to want. But I should have got it. I ended up getting Galaxian.
That's not a bad one to get either.
Yeah, creep. I think we're safe. There's no more Tremels at this Atari, so we're in good hands.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It's exciting seeing what they've been doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want a Munchman TI 99.
Yes,
that's all I want. I just want that homebrew.
And I want the hotel. I'm mad that they haven't even talked about the hotel. I'm pretty sure it's scrapped. But when I heard there was going to be
what is the hotel?
The Atari.
They were going to do an Atari themed hotel.
It was going to be a
shaped like
gambling / video game centric hotel, and the side of the building had the big Fuji logo. It was so Blade Runner, honestly.
And everybody got their own hot tub in a room.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the shag carpet. I'm just making it up as I go. But if I'm Atari, I'm making a hotel.
I'm sold again.
There's shag carpeting everywhere.
I want to stay in the Intellivision Running Man wing.
Hey, they could do that now, huh?
Yeah, now you got to do that. Super Mega Graphics says it's nice hearing Rab's voice. What's going on, Super Mega Graphics 64?
Hey, Super Mega Graphics 64. For you, LaGuardia. Inside joke, sorry. Continue.
Indie Lab says I want to see the Atari Lynx get more love. It could have been better represented back in the day. It's a great handheld.
Amazing.
I think trying to play those games on a big TV, which is the way most people are emulating them now, it really takes away to how great they look on a small screen. I think they're way too stretched and pixelated, but I do have a what's the jet fighter one? Was it Blue Lightning or
Blue Lightning? Yeah,
that is an epic game. Then you have like the Rampage and there's a bunch of other ones too, but you could Rygar and stuff like that. You could really tell like that on I mean, it's like I said, it's like playing I was gonna say Turbo Express, but it's the same as the console. But just blowing that stuff up, I don't think it looks as good, but yeah, it does need more love. And heck, you know what? How about if you're doing these plus releases? How about an Atari Lynx handheld re-release with an LCD?
And a slightly bigger screen.
What if Atari made physical media version of the new Atari VCS 800 and also made physical media out there for digital only Atari 800? That'd be smart. It's good to have options. Yeah, I think it's everybody's a fan of a certain thing, and there's always an audience when it comes to Atari and when it comes to Intellivision. And to be honest, if they acquired Coleco, like we were talking about earlier, that would be the Triforce. I'm not familiar with it as much, but there's just a call for it. There's a fan base for it,
Yeah, it's such
Blue Lightning. Yep.
Really
yeah.
good.
My one concern was that Atari has been kind of pumping out a lot of those different systems. They had like the Game Station and the 2600 Plus. They had just released the VCS a few years ago, and then now the 400, and now people are looking at the 800. It just seems like it's a lot, and ultimately, I don't know the sales numbers. They I can't imagine being more than, you know, in the low 5-figure range. But I could see them kind of, if they could space that out a little bit, then create some demand and excitement about each one of these, then it could be a big deal. Yeah, you know, to see the 800 to come out, to see an eventual, you know, 5200 come out, to see some of these more obscure systems come along. Take your time with it. You know, you're not going to get a large amount of sales, but you build up a good amount of, you know, community goodwill in releasing them and kind of, you know, focusing on those really niche systems.
Yeah, so I think the only problem with the 5200 is it's too close to the 8-bit computer line. And honestly, I think the only true appeal for the 5200 is fighting with that controller. Honestly. I think it's more of a status thing, saying, I got a 5200, I got the thing working, and I'm playing the damn games. Like and I'll put that in quotes, playing the games, you know. I'm not a poo-poo guy on the 5200, but I honestly, out of all the consoles, as long as they touch on the 8-bit computer line, I think they can leave that one alone just for now to get all that hype up. And then use that as like a reserve thing to come out with like some kind of big, hey, we'll do this now. But
I gotta disagree with you, Creep. The other appeal of 5200, I mean, the size of that thing. Put that thing in like your canoe or your kayak to get some ballast.
It'll I built a shed out of 6 of them. What are you talking about? I know all about the size of those.
There are a few idiots like me that have bought
OG Xbox in and you sink.
Right.
Yeah, 5200 controller. They should re-release one that actually works.
You know, there are
self-centering. I agree
that you can get just like this one 3D printed kit, and I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, there's a fix for it.
If you go to Arcade USA, he focused on those for a little while. It was a do-yourself kind of kit, and then there was a 3D printed shell for it. I believe Ed Ladd, I don't know if that guy's still making controllers. But he had a couple of tabletop joysticks for both the Intellivision Coleco and the 5200, I believe. So there are options out there. You just have to really dig for it.
Yeah. Now, this is our next little topic here is how
Inti wants to sink to the center of the earth.
What was that?
Oh, Inti said throw in a Coleco power supply. He wants to sink to the center of the earth.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No kidding.
Yeah, I think an Intellivision Plus would be amazing. I think it should be made, in my opinion, if Atari's listening. Hey, Wade. I think if you're going to do like you did right by the Atari 2600 Plus, and it took and even better when you find out it takes 78 and 2600.
The plus part.
Yeah, plus.
It's plus. It's plussy. Now, next one you do is you do the 52 and
Atari is a French company. It's a plus.
But Intellivision Plus, right? You do in Intellivision have the ECS also on there, but also be able to, you want to be able to plug in people that have the Backbit Pro or an LTO flash cartridge. You can load all your homebrew ROMs, and I believe it should be able to play. And I know Willie was talking about this on the Intellivision Gamer stream, is playing those the newer homebrew carts, because that's important. If there's so many YouTubers and just fans, not just YouTubers. I'm saying it because of us, but that want to stream in HDMI, and that's the reason I was gonna. You can find a lot of these Atari games. Like. For the most part, I have it on a little Android box of Kin Hank, but I still want to play carts and be able to stream in HDMI, and to do that with either the classic or the 200 plus homebrews that are out there on an Intellivision, a brand new HDMI 2609 with this bad boy redone. I think would be amazing. I think have the IntelliVoice built in. Yeah, the plus, right? Plus IntelliVoice, plus ECS.
Yeah, that was a plus.
Yeah. You're like,
I wasn't warding anything off.
But I'd like to see that. I really think I think the communities want to see. We've wanted that. That was almost hinted about a year or two ago, and I don't think, and this is nothing against Amico, but I think the Amico wasn't. They were going to do collections, but I think when it comes back to the old school, wood grain and gold system, I think it'd be a pleasant surprise for people to be able to buy an HDMI version of that again to play their cartridges.
Yeah, I mean, and Tommy had always kind of stressed, and I know Phil had mentioned as well, and I think John in the chat. I don't want to speak for any of you guys, but the stress was always that Amico was not a retro system. It wasn't
right.
They always had to kind of balance that, looking back and bringing back some of these old games, and eventually kind of tackling all these things we loved, and kind of that appeal. How much of that would have been tackled? That's open for debate. There's a large library there. I don't think you get to all of them. I think you pick out some of that stuff. I think in something like Atari, where you're looking at the retro library, you're looking at the value of that. I think there is much more room for that stuff to come out and shine and get the work it deserves. Whereas Amico might have been, or should have been, looking more at, educational games, younger games for children, games that have broader appeal and may not just, a lot of these retro games have a broad appeal, but a lot of them also have kind of a limited, they're, classic games that we love. They're not necessarily games that people would love playing today, unless they played them back then. So I think it opens up, it's the best of all possibilities.
Yeah, and you also have a lot of those unreleased titles that have been worked on from the old INTV and Mattel, and we've seen a few of those titles. But you got to remember that library, like, as a lot of people are talking about, it's over 200 titles. Like, well, the original 120, it was only 125 that Mattel and INTV put out. But no, there's so many unreleased ones and stuff that they've either scrapped or have the files for, or partially done, or licensed or bought the license. We all know, it's no surprise, it's been said a million times. They owned a lot of other IP games that were they bought
and it wasn't just licenses, but also trademarks. So you had the trademark to like Bump and Jump, you had Jungle King, you had some other stuff that the Amico team had bought over the years when income was coming and skies were looking brighter. You have projects that Mattel Electronics was working on and had just sort of abandoned, that would have went with INTV when Terry Valesky bought it in '84. And then you have other things that they were working on. I know there were games for the NES that they were working on, and they had to stop working on certain games when they were trying to keep those licenses. I think to work on the NES, they had to stop working on some games, or they had to stop working on the NES games. I don't remember which side of that story, which ones they had to stop, but there was a point they had to stop creating some games to be able to either work on that license, or because they were working on that license, they couldn't work on, the Intellivision games for the INTV 3, the Super Pro system.
But they had games already going for that. You're right. Yep.
Yeah, that sounds totally Nintendo to me.
But you also have the Shark 2 and Night Stalker 2 and Astrosmath 2, the games
plug and play versions.
No, the Kickstarter attempt that Keith Robinson and Steve Roney and some of the other guys. I think David Warhol worked on one of those. I may be mistaken there, but there was a few games there. There's several games that have kind of amassed over the years, and I don't know if Terry Valesky and INTV bought the Aquarius games as well when Mattel Electronics folded, or if it was just
you're right,
INTV.
Yeah, they were the Magus 2 board from Blue Sky Rangers. And then you had the Tudor Vision titles, which he was bringing up earlier too. Yeah, Hard Hat, Magical Carousel, Blowout, King of the Mountain, Deep Pockets, and Space Cadet. Those were shown up on the flashbacks, and then in some have made hard copies of those as well. Deep Pockets is
Hard Hat, first platformer.
Hard Hat was this one was a one screen thing where you hung panes of glasses and you saw like the exoskeleton of a building. You had to hang the glass over it. And there was like
it's like Crazy Climber. It's like the first platformer.
Oh, platform. Okay, I knew what you meant. I thought you were talking like a side scroll platform. Yeah, but yeah, there you go. Intelab says Tutor Vision had 16 titles. That brings us much closer to 200. Yeah, with all that. Yeah. So I mean, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff. And if you're going to release a plus now, yeah, the plus came with cartridges only. There was nothing built in, correct?
Correct.
Because I don't have one, but I want to get one.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything built in.
You had that new cart that had 12 or 16 games.
It came with a cart, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
it came with a cart,
with like a switch cart
with different dip switches. Yeah, which I'm used to because with arcades, yeah, no, that's pretty neat. And I think like, but stuff like that, my God, like to see that, if you think about it, nothing's been done with Intellivision since it came out, other than the homebrew community. Atari has gotten so many. They've gotten. I mean, well, okay, there has been the flashback. I'm sorry, the flashback did. That was pretty cool. But other than the flashback,
bunch of plug and plays too. But
yeah. But then that all kind of came out around they came out, I think, right before the flashback. And I think a lot of
Intellivision Lives. You had the Intellivision collections on.
But I mean, hardware. As far as hardware, you've had probably a dozen or more Atari plug and plays. Yeah. You've had Atari arcade control boards with a trackball. You've had Atari arcades. You've had Atari collections. But the hardware, specifically the game station, you had the Plus. You had there's so many Atari, like Atari just kind of, there's always something was coming out, whether it was from At Games or whoever was making it at the time. And other than the flashback, there's no hardware that's ever been, no one said, hey, let's make, going into this, if they're going to make compilations, USB controller. That's all I ask. They don't have to redesign it. They don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just make the end of this cord have a USB out, so I can plug it into whatever I'm emulating, or maybe the new Plus, But if I want to play, if I get the Intellivision 45 collection, let's say, on the Nintendo Switch, I want a USB keypad controller that I can play. Pack it in, make it a steelbook. You don't think an Intellivision fan's going to buy it? They will. Even if you got, like you were saying earlier, if you get 10% of that, of what you thought you're going to get, it's still going to pay. It's going to be worth it, Thoughts on that?
Agreed.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you're not growing the audience. I don't think there's going to be any, giant splash. I know even with like the Atari 50th celebration, the numbers of the sales numbers on Steam, I don't think they cracked more than 7,500. So I mean, if I'm buying the Atari celebration, I'd rather get it on, I've got it on the Switch, but I'd rather get it on the Switch or the PlayStation or Xbox, where you have some physical commemorative with it than just something on Steam. So those numbers might be a little deflated. But still, just thinking about the numbers that they can, kind of sell, it's not going to be anything major. But the fact that they're doing that and getting good press, and, Atari's a publicly traded company. They go up from 15 cents to 16 cents a stock. That's a big deal. So any news is good news for them, and getting this stuff out and showing, getting the community excited about it and making sales and positive revenue. This is all good stuff for them. They can't go wrong.
I agree. Speaking of the Atari VCS in 2600, I got a package here from this guy. Here. No,
okay.
You, sir. I'm going to open that up if you're okay with that.
Yeah, go right ahead.
So this is I must say I'm a virgin. An Atari VCS virgin is what I was going to say.
Okay. I was going to say, I can't help you with that in that box.
But yeah, so this is going to be my first. And I tell you what, if they come up with any Intellivision collections for the VCS, I believe they just announced, what was Rich talking about the other day? Was it Dark Caverns?
Yeah, Dark Caverns came out on the VCS with the
99
with the announcement.
cents, I think. Or
and
$1.99.
that's my that is my price tag right there. 99 cents.
Right.
I can afford.
No brainer, I said.
Right.
That's something
I
I
loaded it,
think.
I just haven't played it yet.
Right. I'm just gonna do this. There we go.
Yeah, I overtape those things. I'm sorry, man. I'm paranoid once it leaves the house.
Oh my goodness. What is that like that's one of the cartridge things, dude. Oh,
It's
hold on. I
the
gotta check
cradle
this
for
out.
the physical products. It's the last blue one I had laying around.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, do I have mine here? Yeah, I do. But mine's black.
I got one of yours. I think I won it from one of your like giveaways one time a couple of years back.
Oh,
For
okay.
my actual Atari, I have one.
The games do fit a little tight in that.
This was the Amico thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that is badass. Look at that.
Yeah, no, it's not the cartridge deal.
I thought it was dude, that is sweet.
Yeah. It's like I said, the games will fit a little tight in it.
Oh,
so
no, that's cool.
In, but yeah, I was gonna try to make them and sell them, but with my one printer, it just wasn't gonna happen.
That is cool. Look at that custom. Oops, hold on. Don't look at this, Atari.
That was made like 2-3 years ago. I think I'm grandfathered in.
Good. Oh my god, dude, that's awesome. Oh my god, that's so cool, man. Thank you. That is sweet. It's like my birthday. That's not for another month.
Very cool.
But this is
some shelf candy.
Oh yeah. So let me set that the power supply.
Well, screen, buddy.
Oh, these are a lot smaller than I thought. It's got some heft to it though.
It does. For what it is.
I mean, it feels like a computer. Which I guess
it's funny that you said that because
oh man, it's beautiful. And it's wood grain.
That one's special. You know what that is? That's that first one they sent out, almost like the Founders Edition.
Yeah.
That got swept up in Rich's flood when he had that flood down there in Jersey or whatever it was.
Wow.
And he sent it to me to try to get it going. And I got it going. The only thing is it needs one memory card.
No,
for it to actually function. But it fired up and everything.
Oh man! So what do you just get? I just do an SD memory card in there.
No, just like an actual, I don't know what you call them. Memory cards is what we used to call them back in the day. When you open up, you'll see there's 2 slots for memory cards.
Oh, okay.
If I remember correctly, there is one in there, and they're not that expensive.
Oh yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be either an SD or micro SD.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay, yeah. Man, look at that, guys. So I'll start doing some streams of the VCS. Oh,
very cool.
This is really cool. That is really awesome, man. Yeah, I wanted to, and you know what? Of course, I missed out on that 99 deal.
Yeah, I didn't. It's funny because Rich, when he sent that one to me, he said he had gotten 3 of the 99 deals. And I begged him, I'm like, dude, let me buy one, please, please, please. So he let me buy one.
Oh, dude. Okay, so I do have one of these. I have it on.
Oh, okay.
So, but no, because you had sent me one before, but I have this. If you ever watch, that character Art Bigfall, he has. Oh, I got paint on my knuckle there. He has this on his suit jacket.
Okay, wonderful.
So it's always on camera. I love this one though. I don't have that one. Creep it real.
Glad.
Dude,
and
that's
bye-bye.
so awesome. I'll put those on my cowboy hat.
Yeehaw.
Dude. That is badass.
I'm glad you like it, man.
Dude.
Hand painted.
Oh my God, dude. That's epic. I got the real, well, it's buried, but it's over on my shelf over there. I get the real Castle Grayskull I had as a kid. All the insides are gone, but it's still the shell and the
That's
jaw
all
bridge
right.
still
Yeah,
work.
it makes a great display.
Oh man, this is awesome. This is awesome, dude. This is going up here. This is going up there on the shelf. That is badass, dude. Make sure I didn't miss anything here.
I think there's one more thing in
Uh-oh.
there.
There's something else in here.
Yeah.
No way.
I just tossed it in.
Dude, a ninja game.
It still has just like a trading card in there that no one tore out.
You're right.
So
here's your free trading card. Worlds of Power, a novel based on the best-selling Nintendo game by Tecmo. Ninja Gaiden or Gaiden, whatever you want to call it. Dude, that's so cool. Is it like a choose-your-own-adventure?
Honestly, I thought it was a strategy book. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't read.
No, it's a novel. It's literally a novel about the ninja. I'll read this to go to bed tonight. I'll read this.
I was going
Choose
to
your own adventure. It all ends with the birds knocking you off into oblivion.
I used to have a G.I. Joe choose your own adventure book. Those were cool. And then sometimes you'd be like, you turn and you got shot and you died.
I just watched a documentary about those like 2 months ago. I can't remember what it was called, but it was pretty interesting how that came about.
Dude, I am really stoked on this. I'm really stoked on this. I'm like a little kid, man. That is badass.
But yeah, that VCS has gone through 3 channels now. It's pretty cool. It's like the lineage.
That's awesome, dude. It's going to get a lot of love. It's going to get an absolute.
It's an Atari virtual community system.
Right.
And I just got to pay it forward. So when I'm done, I move it. I give it to Rab, and then he plays it, and then he gives it to.
Nah, it's yours now, man. Since I got that $99 deal, I didn't need it.
Retro Dude says Atari needs to re-release that trackball controller, that big ass trackball controller.
Yeah.
I remember that.
But it's got to actually work.
Universal Gaming. Well, we're kind of wrapping up now, but we were talking about everything, anything Atari and television, Atari Vision, Atari, whatever you want to call it. So this is DJC's first time getting new Atari VCS. Yeah,
I'm still calling it Syzygy.
Syzygy. Oh my God, that goes back.
Welcome to VCS. That's awesome. I have a spoof of Lose Your Own Adventure book titled Who Shot John Kennedy? All the endings are bad. It's impossible to solve the mystery. Bears fan, Goba, dude, what's going on? Oh, man, good to see you in here. Yeah, we're just about to wrap up. So, yeah, I think all of us think this is, it's surprising as it is for what it is. I think they're going to do good. I am going to try my best to reach out, and I'm sure the guy's very busy at this point, but I'm going to see if maybe I can get Wade to maybe weigh in, or even if he can, I'll send him out an email or see if he'd like to come on the show in the future and talk a little bit about this purchase and what their plans are and what they know about the community and how big this and passionate this television community, whether it be the homebrew and the classic fans and the people clamoring for HDMI and a television plus and all this stuff. I think it'd be great to get him or somebody from Atari to kind of say, hey, this is our kind of plans going forward with this IP. And, and I'm sure they're already, like they said, they're already starting. They already started. They hit the ground running, and I think they're going to do it well. Retro Dude says, get an external hard drive for the VCS.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Let's go back to the Atari Vision versus Atari is like debating a bro in the man's ear. That's so funny. Well, anyways, guys, what you got coming up on your channel, dude?
I took on a project. I'm going to try to stuff a Retron 77 in an R2D2 shell.
Badass.
And after pulling things apart, it's going to probably be a lot more labor intensive than I was anticipating on the electronic side of things. But I'm not giving up. I was originally going to do it in a ghost trap from the movie theater when I was.
Now that I would probably buy that from you.
So I might actually divert
I'm such
it.
A fan.
I might actually divert that, but I got that coming up. I have another project. I don't know if I want to say too much of it, but I'll give a pseudo exclusive. I'm basically going to take a peripheral for the original Atari that only really used one game, maybe two, and make a very needless thing out of it for the Atari 2600. I don't know how else to say it without ruining it. I want it to be a real big surprise, so I'm just waiting for one more piece of it. But I'm going to be doing something fun control-wise with the Atari pretty soon. I don't know if I have anything else planned there. I got a couple of guitar projects on my vlog channel, The Creepy Crawl. And that's really it for now. I got a whole bunch of Tomy Pocket games I'm getting ready to put together for my Alzheimer's giveaway. Usually in July is when I really kick everything off. But I'm starting to gather things together. So anyone who donates, I would say $10 or more is going to be put into a kitty to win prizes at the end of it all, like I do live, stuff like that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So, aside from that, I have nothing planned. But yeah, that's pretty much it here.
Super Mega Graphics says, wish you all the best. Wasn't sure what to expect from the show. Still not sure, but thank you.
I don't think we are either. Yeah, right?
Oh, the Tomy Pocket games. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm looking right at them.
We're given the show notes after the show, so we have no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Right here.
Rab, coming up on your channel? I kid.
You kidder.
I'm such a kidder. Call me Margot. No?
Margot.
No? Margot Kidder? All right. That was a bad joke. And on that note...
Crickets.
Yeah, total crickets, man.
Awkward silence.
Says some Evercade news tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah, that's that Thursday. They're about to announce something about, what is it, the Alpha or something, the new system? Some sort of Evercade news. I guess we could talk about that tomorrow on the next show. But anyways, I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, there you go. Kevin got it. Kevin Alvarado says, "Hey, I got that reference." There wasn't full crickets, just a little delay on the chat to laugh out loud. Yeah, it's a thinking man's joke there. Anyways, guys, I want to thank you for taking the time to
thank you, man. This was
come
fun.
in. Creep, it's always good to have you. I mean, if you're ever available, I'll just ask you, because it's always good to just talk, no matter what we're talking about.
Appreciate it.
And dude, I can't tell you how much. Trust me, the VCS.
I wasn't sure if you had one yet or not.
But these things, dude, these things are badass, man. I love it. I might put this in my living room with a couple of my games displayed.
Yeah, dude. Enjoy them.
But anyways, everyone, thank you. Everyone in the chat, if you haven't hit subscribe, do. If you want to see my daily live streams, lunchtime streams, late night streams, please follow me over on rumble.com under
He's
DJC
always streaming.
Studios. Always streaming over there, guys. It's a party. We did horse racing the last couple days. We were fake betting on pixelated horses.
And I lost everything. The kids ain't going to college now.
Rab, I really appreciate you taking the time out. I know you're a busy man right now.
Yeah, I missed you guys.
You've been missed.
When you can, and I know when you get things all situated and whatever, and get everything back to normal, whatever normal is, we don't even know what that is these days. But when you do, let's please come on when you can, and maybe we can. I'm trying to make this a good retro show to talk all retro stuff, and let's please talk again, man. It's been way too long, and I always enjoy your insight. I really do.
Yeah, I haven't been avoiding you like the plague. It's just been super busy over here.
Oh, I know.
I don't need to share a big diatribe with the whole chat, but there's a new kid in our lives. We just bought a house. There's a new business getting started up. There's some family health issues. It's been just one thing after another. So
yeah,
YouTube has been a lower priority than typical this last year. But I definitely miss my Wednesdays and all these familiar faces in the chat. I miss you guys.
Yeah. Well, sir, we hope you can pop in again very soon. Anyways, I'm going to end it. Thank you, everyone. God bless. See you in the next one. Take care.
See you later, guys.
Take care, all.